everyone. I'm delighted to welcome you all on behalf of Team Avatar and my Avatar to the Diversity Mahotsav 2022. I'm Beena Menon, and I will be your host for this evening. Before we begin, here are a few hygiene checks for a seamless and virtual experience. Please close all your applications on your computer and log out from your organization's VPN to conserve internet bandwidth. We would like to thank our partners, Kellogg Brown and Root Engineering and Construction India Private Limited and Saint Gobain India Private Limited. Our social media hashtags are hashtag Diversity Mahotsav 2022 and hashtag Celebrating Diversity. Do post your experience at Diversity Mahotsav on your social media handles with the hashtags. I would also like to inform you that all the Diversity Mahotsav episodes are being streamed live on our YouTube channel. Scan the QR code seen on your mobiles or laptops or computer to watch the Diversity Mahotsav live on your YouTube. Alternatively, you can go to the link that is visible on our screen. You can also use the link that we have posted on the chat box. Celebrating diversity in the workplace should be about bringing the workforce together in a natural way, where they can celebrate, engage, and champion each other's uniqueness. Diversity in the workspace is all about empowering employees by respecting and embracing what makes them different in all the ways. It means appreciating and understanding one another by truly embracing the differences. Avatar, a pioneer in the field of diversity, equity, and inclusion, had the vision to see more women participate in the workforce. While we have expanded our impact across the diversity strands to cover people with special needs, disabilities, LGBTQ+, to name a few, we have also recognized the need to mainstream discussions around diversity and inclusions. Let's listen from our founder, Dr. Soundarya Rajesh, on the vision of My Avatar.
I'm delighted to share that My Avatar is India's first and only portal to celebrate diversity. This means that we are a portal that addresses ourselves to different diversity talent pools, different underrepresented groups of talent like women, second career women, members of the LGBTQ community, persons with disability, veterans, and the silver generation. And what do we do at myavatar.com? First of all, we provide jobs from a whole host of organizations that are committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. We also create experiences and opportunities for people to come in touch with each other to form communities. And finally, we also offer skilling programs to ensure that every individual who registers to myavatar.com has the opportunity to reach the fullest of their potential.
Diversity Mahotsav, a celebration of diversity by myavatar.com, India's diversity hiring portal, is a one-of-its-kind initiative. It aims to look for multi-pronged strategies to explore the world of opportunities out there for diverse groups. Diverse in its approach with experiential sessions, success stories, and skill-building workshops. It recognizes that one size doesn't fit all and that there is need for different levels of intervention. And with the second successive edition of Diversity Mahotsav, we look forward to expanding our impact in celebrating your diversity. I, Beena, once again welcome you all on behalf of Team Avatar, India's premier diversity, equity, and inclusion solutions firm, and myavatar.com, India's only diversity hiring portal, to the Diversity Mahotsav. Let's celebrate ourselves. Diversity awareness is an important part of establishing inclusion for people with disability. Often, our fears and discomfort when it comes to interacting with people with disabilities are based on lack of knowledge, understanding, and our non-conscious bias that influence our engagement with them. Today, we have Mr. Shiva Jayagopal, the founder chairman of Win Vinaya Foundation and founder director of Win Vinaya Infosystems. Shiva is a distinguished alumni from NIT Trichy who has 30 plus years of experience in IT industry, alumni of Microsoft, Adobe, NTT Data, Wipro. Vinvinaya Foundation has trained 500 plus candidates and has placed 250 plus in inclusive MNCs and MSMEs. Vinvinaya Foundation launched India's first digital learning platform designed for people with disabilities called Vinvinaya Academy in April 2020, and 250 plus beneficiaries has already learned from it. Today, we have Shiva, who is with us, will share insights on disability awareness and introduction to Indian Sign Language, where he will be taking us through the common disabilities category, the do's and don'ts, while interacting with people with disabilities and much more. Over to you, Shiva.
Thanks a lot, Bina. Let me start sharing the screen. Please let me know if you're able to see it.
Yes, we are able to see it, Shiva.
Cool. All right. Thanks for the opportunity. So, from the time we talked to Bina, requesting her for the introduction, a few things have changed. So, we trained slightly more than 600 people, and we were able to place about 300 people in different Fortune 500 companies. And the good thing was also that the Vinvinaya Academy, which is a scalable platform, we have trained more than 350 plus beneficiaries. We trained them on various courses, including full stack software development, software testing, core banking, financial accounting, both for people across 12 different disabilities who come from 12 different states of India. And for people who are deaf, we teach them through Indian Sign Language. We will have a short demo by one of our employees, Gayatri, who's also a person with hearing impairment. And she will talk a few things about sign language today. And we will also have a small session by Yogita, who's our employee with visual impairment. She will show a small demo about how she uses computers, right? So as Bina rightly said, it's all about awareness. Many times we have some kind of unconscious bias and ignorance, right? So hopefully by the end of the session, we'll be in a position to slightly understand things better, right? So, probably you can post your answers in the chat. Many of us choose our toothbrush, right? By color, by size and all that. How do you think a person with visual impairment would choose a toothbrush? Any ideas? Texture, okay. Alignment, shape, fair enough. So let us say we are talking about a couple of different visually impaired people who are sharing a room or something like that, and assume that okay, now they're all the same brand of toothbrush. How would they choose it? How would they choose the right one? Color they cannot see. Shape, assuming that they are a similar shape, that would make it slightly difficult, right? Sometimes we think very hard, but when you talk to them, as somebody said, it's all about touch and feel, right? So they can, tactile is a very interesting way of them to, to communicate and understand things. So when we talk to some of our employees who are persons with visual impairment, they said it's very simple. I mean, I just put a rubber band, and then one more person said, I will put, 2 rubber bands, and that's it. Maybe the single rubber band with 2 loops or something like that. Sometimes we think about very complicated solutions. All that we have to do is just ask them, and they'll be in a position to tell us as to how they choose their toothbrushes in very simple ways, right? So thanks for your answers. In a meeting, let us say we want to call the attention of people, we generally raise our voice. Hey guys, can you please look at me and stuff like that. Let us assume that we have a room full of persons with hearing impairment. How would you call their attention? You cannot shout because they're not going to hear you. Show a sign, fair enough. But if they're all typing and busy with their computers or something like that, powerful visual. What could be the visual? Sign language. Okay. What else? Let's say they're working deep down. So even if you're signing, they may not be in a position to see you, but sign language is a good idea. What else they can do? What else we can do? Let's see what the answer is, right? So we just have to use flashing lights. You just switch on, switch off the lights, and immediately they will notice the lights, right? So, yeah, you can go near them and pat them, but one other way is to just use the flashing lights, right? So many times, as I told you, we tend to think as if it's slightly, difficult. You can just ask them and they will tell you, right? In a fire emergency, we are expected to use the stairs instead of elevators. How do you think a person with wheelchair who uses a wheelchair can, and in an emergency, how they can be helped? Ramp beside the stairs. Very good. What else? See, even today in MNCs, there are solutions, right? So let us say a person, a woman is pregnant, and there is an emergency. We ensure, we lift her or put her in a stretcher and then carry her around in case we need to come real fast. We just have to do the same thing. So in essence, when we talk about disabilities, we can look at the current solutions. Many of the times, even the current solutions will make a difference in their lives, and that will actually cater to their needs, right? So we just talked about persons with visual impairment, hearing impairment, even persons with the locomotor disability, right? And let us just talk about a few more interesting facts, right? Any idea as to how many persons with disabilities are there in the world? Just choose any number. No right or wrong answer. 5%. Okay. Anybody else? Let's see what the World Health Organization talks about. It's almost 16%. Right? Yeah. So Lakshmi is asking, are we also including neurodiversity? Yeah. When we talk about persons with disabilities, it includes a neurotypical and neurodiverse, right? It's almost like 1.3 billion people. That's a lot of people out there, right? But as per the census that was conducted in India almost 10 years back, any idea as to what was the percentage of persons with disabilities in India? 16% is what WHO says for the world. Any idea as per our census, what was the numbers? 20%? 60? 21 lakhs? Is just 2.2%. So WHO talks about almost 16% in the world, whereas we are talking about 2.2%. It also means that when people go for counting and asking them who are the persons with disabilities in their family, many, because of social stigma, may not even declare that they are a person with a disability or they have persons with disabilities in their family, right? That could be the one reason. The second reason is when the census was done 10 years back, Government of India recognized 7 disabilities. Today, after RPDability Act 2016, Government of India recognized 21 disabilities. So the next time in the census happens, it's likely the overall numbers would shoot up, right? Any idea as to, in India, how many persons with the disabilities are graduates? Jayanti talks about 6%. Actually, that is right. I don't know whether she talked about 6% for the previous one, but only 6% of persons with disabilities are graduates. So, it's a pretty shocking number, which we have. And I think I just talked about how many disability categories are there in India. And, if you are listening, probably you will answer this. Janani said it right. We got 21 disabilities recognized by Government of India as per Rights of Persons with Disability Act, RPWD Act 2016. Right. So we'll start with a small story. Right. So it will hopefully make us understand. So Jayashree is a person with the locomotive disability from Karnataka. And when she was born almost 25 years back, and she was born with the disability. When we think of locomotive disability, we tend to think that she's, a person is a wheelchair user. That is not true. With the Jayashree, after her, her elbow, the entire forearm was not there. The palm started right there, and she had only 3 fingers in each of those palms, right? And when she was born, her parents thought, we are talking about 25 years back in India, when we were not even as inclusive as we are now. And so the parents thought, how do we bring up a girl child with a disability? And initially they thought, okay, probably they should all commit suicide. But the good sense prevailed, and they decided to bring her up. And it was not a very easy journey. She was denied admission in school after school after school. Finally, one school gave her admission. She studied very well. Then she struggled to get college admission. She got through the college admission also. And she even got selected in one of the leading, service, in one of the leading MNCs, which is into the service industry. And during the background verification, they came back and said, you know what, our policy says you should have 50% in 10th, 12th, and college, but you did not have 50% in one of them. And so, unfortunately, we have to take back the offer, right? Even though she succeeded in all the interviews, she couldn't join that company. She had literally 80% in most of it, except for one of them where she got less than 50% because she had dengue. And but the parents said, okay, now go and attend that, otherwise you might lose a year. So she went and attended. She passed, but she didn't get more than 50%, right? So that particular company didn't select her. But interestingly, there was another company which didn't care about the marks. They looked at her skills. They selected her. The good thing, was that, okay, now the second company paid her double the salary of what the first company offered her. Now, Jayashree is the primary breadwinner of the family. She takes care of 3 people without disabilities. Her father, who is a retired person, her mom, who's a homemaker, and her brother, who is studying in college, right? Recently, she called us and said, okay, now she even got a promotion in that particular company, right? So it's very important for us to also look at, what this tells us, right? Number one, the struggles, the starting point of Jayashree is completely different from what we normally go through, right? So many other times we look at the schools and then see which are the school that we can choose from, which is a college which we can choose from. For Jayashree and people like her, it is the other way around. There are very few schools and colleges which are ready to give her admission, right? So it's whatever gives them admission, she has to choose that. That is the only way, right? And we tend to think that marks are godsend. It is not. I studied in some of the best schools and colleges, but what I ended up learning in schools and college and what I ended up doing in my profession, there's a huge gap. Less than 10% of what I studied, actually I ended up using, and whatever marks I got, I don't think it's a reflection of my intelligence, frankly, right? And it is definitely not the reflection of Jayashree's intelligence. She had a lot of grit. She would not give up. She had a lot of perseverance and sincere attitude, and that is what helped her succeed and also get the promotion in the new thing, right? So whenever we talk to companies, they tend to talk about equal opportunities. I don't think there is a right way of looking at it, right? So you can see this image wherein, three people are, playing the football, and everybody has similar things, but there is a person in wheelchair who cannot even watch that. And there is a person who's slightly shorter who cannot watch that. Equitable opportunity is to create the right environment, create the right opportunity for everyone to succeed, right? So it's very, very important for us to keep looking at, when we say equal opportunity, what does it mean? What are we taking it away? And what are the limitations of that particular thing, right? And whenever we have policies, what else we can do to make it equitable, right? So, and in this particular slide, I'm talking about what do you think could be the right terminology? Do you think we can talk in terms of hearing impaired, retarded, specially able, differently able, physically challenged, handicapped, deaf and mute, deaf and dumb, visually challenged, person with the disability? What do you think would be the right way? What do you think could be the right terms to use? Any ideas? Persons with disabilities, specially abled, differently abled. All right. Let's see what could be the accepted terms. When we say accepted terms, I don't think we can be the right person to define it for them. It should be them who define it for themselves, right? As per persons with disabilities, the way they like to be called is persons with disabilities. For example, persons with hearing and speech impairment, persons with the locomotive disability, deaf, they are comfortable with that, right? So it's very important for us to ask them, right? And when we ask them certain things, they are also okay with. They accept that these are widespread terms and they're okay with it. For example, hearing impaired, specially able, visually challenged, physically challenged. They are widespread terms. Some of them are okay with it. But as for United Nations, they recommend that we say person with the disability or people with disabilities. They want to put the person in front of the disabilities, right? And there are certain things which the persons with the disabilities don't like it. They don't like deaf and dumb. Dumb obviously, has a wrong connotation as well. They don't like being called retarded, handicapped, deaf and mute. Mute kind of communicates as if, they cannot really communicate with other people. They can communicate, just that they communicate in different language, which is sign language, right? They don't like the words like crippled, wheelchair bound. They're not bound to a wheelchair. I'm not bound to these eyeglasses. I'm a user of eyeglasses. I use eyeglasses to do my work. So they are wheelchair users. They're not wheelchair bound, right? So it's very important for us to know what could be the right terminologies that we end up using, right? And the best thing to do is to always ask them, right? So they are not uncomfortable talking about, their disabilities and all that. So just ask them and they will tell you, are they comfortable being called, a person who's visually challenged, or they are comfortable being called blind, whatever. But the best thing is to just ask them and they will tell you, right? And there are quite a few unconscious bias, that, we might be used to. Sometimes when we bump into a person, we might say, are you blind? All that we have to say is just be careful, right? And if a person behaves in a way that we don't think is appropriate, we might say, some of us might say, are you retarded and stuff like that. You just have to say, okay, now, probably, do you have a problem with the situation, or is there anything I can do to help, or anything like that, right? And if people don't get it, again, don't use mentally retarded, slow learner, and all these things. Don't jump into conclusions. Maybe, they have a particular way of learning, and maybe we are teaching them through a different method, and maybe you can ask them, if I explain that with examples, is this something that will make it easier for you? Some people learn through videos. Some people learn experientially. People have different ways of learning. So when people are not able to understand the concept, it could just be the methodology or the technologies we use to impart that particular skill or knowledge. So probably if you change it, it's likely that they will get it, right? So we can use terms which will address that kind of a thing. And even when people don't listen, sometimes people might use, are you deaf, right? Deaf can also communicate. So we just have to use different ways of doing it, right? And quite some time back, I used to watch some beggars, who are on the street corners. And sometimes I used to think, okay, now why are they begging, right? So their hands are okay, their legs are okay, they're able to see, they're able to talk. Why are they begging, right? So only later I realized that, okay, now it also kind of has I have some unconscious bias, which means that am I really conveying that a person with disability is meant only for begging? Why am I saying that this person is okay, then they should not be begging? Am I implying that if a person is with the disability, they should be begging, right? So instead, I started using better terms. Now, whenever I see a person begging in the street corners, if I choose, I may help them, or just, do whatever I think is the right thing to do and then move on, right? So it's very important for us to look at the common phrases that we use and then see, is there some kind of a bias, unconscious bias? We may not do it with intention, but there is an unconscious bias, but maybe there is a better way of, doing things, right? And there are quite a few disabilities that we work with. I will just talk about some of the key ones. And when we look at disabilities, there are visible and invisible disabilities, right? So a person with visual impairment, it's likely that you can see them and kind of make out, but not all visual disabilities you can easily make it out. For example, if a person is colorblind, if a person has night blindness, it is not very easy for you to figure that out, right? But they're also part of the spectrum of visual impairment, right? But in general, people who are completely blind or who have some low vision, or some of them you could easily kind of make it out. Persons with locomotive disability, they might have some issues with the hands, with the legs. They might be a wheelchair user. By and large, there is also visible. But a person with hearing impairment, a person with speech impairment, unless you communicate with them, it's very difficult for you to figure out whether they are a person with the disability, and we might have a different assumption, right? So those are what we call as invisible disabilities. It could be persons with intellectual disabilities, autism, mental illness, schizophrenia. It could be people with the blood disorders who you cannot easily make it out. So there are certain things which are invisible. And as I told you before, Winmania works with people across 12 different disabilities, and we train them on various skills and also help them with the placement assistance, right? What I would request is, probably we will do a small demo and a small intro to Indian Sign Language. I will request Akila and Gayatri to come and start it off. I'll just switch off my video. Once Akila and Gayatri do their sign language thing, then we'll come back with Yogita.
Can you guys understand what she's saying? Can you tell me whether you are able to understand what she's talking? She's talking actually. Welcome. No. No. She's saying no. No. She's saying no. Good afternoon. Hello. No, 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 no. She's saying no. Do you want me to give voice to her signs? I can do that. If you are, one more try. Try again. Okay, this is good. Evening, all. That's what she's saying. Continue. Good evening, all. Hope all of you are doing fine. My name is, I'm going to talk about myself. My name is Gayatri. That's her alphabet, and that's her sign name. I'm from Pidigluru, AP. I finished my studies in BTech in computer science. I did BTech in computer science. I'm working as a team leader in Winmania Foundation for 4 years now. I'm going to talk about my college education. I was the only deaf girl in my college. All my teachers taught me through voice. I couldn't understand at all. I had friends, but they didn't know sign language. They couldn't understand. They're all hearing people. I couldn't understand it at all. The family couldn't understand my sign. Friends couldn't understand my sign. So, but how did I finish BTech? I mugged up everything and vomited. So that's how I finished my BTech. So after I joined Vinvania Foundation, they taught me in sign language. I was able to understand the concepts. I did web designing, Java, everything. I was able to understand. There are a lot of deaf candidates were there, and I was able to understand, and I was able to clear. The concepts were clear. Then I joined as an employee in Vinvinaya Foundation. I did web designing. Second one is software testing. I was able to do software testing. Sometimes I help admin also. And I also did automation. You know what? I did it on Google. I searched on Google and I created certificates on my own, which is an automated one. I also create awareness for many companies, and I connect with a lot of companies in creating awareness. Sign language courses also I teach the companies. For different companies, I do that. Accessibility testing also I do. Thanks a lot. That's what she's saying. Thank you. Great. Any questions you guys have for Gayatri? Did she bust a myth about deaf community? Great. Yeah, many deaf can don't get the right education when they are in college. Many schools and colleges are taught through English, which is vocal, not through sign language. But whatever she did, I did the same thing. I also mugged up and copied it. But she has a reason now. She couldn't understand the concepts, and now with sign language she was able to understand the concepts, and she was doing different roles, not only one role. She did web designing, software testing, admin role, as well as automation engineer. Actually, she was doing all those things. So do you guys want to understand a little bit of sign language? Yes. Okay. So Gayatri, basics. So as she was mentioning, this is good, and morning is like flower blooming up or a sun coming up. So you can say good morning, good afternoon when the sun is very hot, good evening. The flower is closing to some extent. It is not fully closed. To keep it like this. When you close it fully, it's good night. Good night. Good, as you know, it's thumbs up or thumbs down for bad. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. So that is hello. Hello. So you can use your natural sign when you see somebody. You can say good hello like that. Same thing. She wanted to ask you some questions and you can answer her. So she's going to ask the question to me. I'm going to answer her. So she asked something. Can you guys guess what she asked and what did I answer? She asked me something and I answered her. Can you understand the conversation which happened between us? Any guesses there? Very good. What did I answer? Very good. So, but the sign is similar. So she's just touching her body and then showing like this, but the facial expression changes. She was asking a question in her face itself and I was answering in my face itself, but the sign is same. So for the sign language, not only the hands, the facial expression also matters a lot. Okay, she's saying something. What is that? And this also. Can you guys guess what is this? Very good. Sorry. So sorry can be holding your ears or like this, rubbing your heart. Very good. She's saying something like this. What is that? No, actually, this is please. So when a kid asks their mom or dad, no, please, amma, like this. So that is what she's saying. Please, please, like that. So the expression matters a lot. Please. She's saying something there. What is that? She is doing something like a train and showing L coming down. What is that? Sign language. No, not on my way. Manoj, yeah, you're almost there, but not on the right track though. This is sign language. So sign language is shaking your hand. So this is sign language. She's asking some question to you. Can anyone tell? She's asking, are you deaf? So she's touching her ear and mouth and then pointing to you. And there is a question mark. So she's saying, are you deaf? If you are saying yes, then you have to shake your, not your head though, because in India we shake everywhere. So hand is the right thing. So shake up and down the hand. Make a fist and up and down is yes. Or 2 fingers and a thumb, no. So if you are not deaf, or what are you? You are a normal person? No, you are a hearing person. So you show like this, hearing. I'm hearing. Because as Shiva was mentioned, she is also normal. We don't call ourselves normal and them abnormal. Gayatri is also normal and we are also normal. So we are hearing people. She's showing some expression. Can you guys guess it? No, she's saying no. Happy. I'm happy. Very good. Yeah. Good. So she's wanted to complete it. Thank you. You can say thank you with your chin touching, fingers touching your chin and then coming out like this. Not from your lips though. That is a different meaning. So don't give that to Gayatri. Flying kiss to Gayatri. Thank you to Gayatri. Thank you. And she's saying welcome. And this is how we clap for her without sound. I'll request Yogita to come on video. Yes, Yogita is there. Yogita, do you want to introduce yourself more first?
Yes, hello all. I am Yogita. So I am a person with visual impairment, and I am working as accessibility tester at Vinvinaya, and I have completed BCom last year. So I am working since April here.
So Yogita, you have done BCom. How did you learn accessibility testing though?
When I joined here, I got well trained.
Is it very tough for a non-tech person to learn accessibility testing?
Not much though. Like practice makes.
How? Okay. It's not very techy. You can learn. Anyone can learn technology. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Got it. Got it. Great. Yogita, you wanted to say, show a demo, right? After that, I will ask a lot of questions.
Yes, I will show. But before showing a demo, I will say that I'm using computer by using screen reader. The screen reader is nothing but the screen reader is nothing but the screen which reads loud. So we have many screen readers. So now I will show the demo with the NVDA, so called non-visual desktop access. So before showing a demo, I request all of you to close your eyes. So I will show the demo so that you can understand very well.
Yeah, I hope everyone is closing their eyes. She will show the demo anyway. Go on, Yogita. No cheating, guys.
So, yes, ma'am, is my sound is audible?
Audio is not coming. Could you please give the audio sound also? Just give us a minute. She's just fixing the audio sound.
Meeting control window. New channel plus it's button.
Yes, got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Zoom cloud meeting window. Meeting document one word document.
Yes. Now I will write something. So you close your eyes first.
Okay.
Shall I write now?
Yes, please.
Now, can you guess what it is reading?
Hello everyone, welcome to Winvinator. Hello everyone, welcome to Winvinator. Hello everyone, welcome to Winvinator.
Put it in the chat box if you are able to understand what she's saying. No, they are not
Okay.
able to understand
Yes,
it.
ma'am. I got one reply.
Huh. You are waiting for others to reply?
Yes.
Audio is patchy. That's what they are saying.
Okay. I will make. Okay.
Too fast. They are
Okay.
saying
I will
it's too
make it
fast.
little slower. Okay.
Rate 50. Rate 30. Hello everyone, welcome to Winvinator.
Now, can you understand this?
Could you please replay it?
Winvinator all panelists. Warm welcome to Winvinator alert.
Okay. Almost correct.
From Janani Sampath to all panelists. Everyone welcome to Winvinator alert.
Yes, almost correct.
Almost
Answer all
correct.
panelists.
She's
Warm
saying
welcome.
almost only, not all the things are
Hello
correct.
from Manoj to all panelists. Hello all panelists alert. Hello everyone, welcome to all panelists. Warm welcome to Winvinator alert.
Okay. Let's.
From Manoj to all panelists. Welcome all alert.
Now you open and see the screen, please.
The screen is not visible for us. We are able to see your video alone.
Oh.
Zoom cloud meetings window version 5. Meeting control one platform to
It
connect.
is saying hello everyone, welcome to Winvinaya.
Okay, still we are not able to see the Word document though.
2.2 sign in but one document one meeting control one platform to connect Zoom.
Now is it
Zoom cloud Zoom cloud. Zoom cloud.
No worries, actually, no worries. We are not able.
Platform,
But what did it
platform
say?
to connect document one word. Hello everyone, welcome to Winvinator.
Okay, yeah. Hello everyone, welcome to Winvinaya.
Hello everyone, welcome to Winvinator.
Warm
Hello
welcome
everyone,
to
welcome to
Winvinator.
Winvinator.
sir?
Warm welcome to Winvinator, is it?
Hello
Yogita?
everyone, welcome to Winvinaya.
Okay.
Hello everyone. Like I'm welcoming all of you to our Winvinaya.
So what is this actually? Initially it was like buck, it was patchy, they were saying, no? What speed was
Cloud
that?
one platform meeting control.
It is a screen reader. It is called NVDA, on visual desktop access. So it's read very louder. Whatever we type or which is there on the screen, it will read out louder.
What was that speed, Yogita, when you were playing initially?
When I was using it, it was 100. Now it is in 40 rate.
Okay, so now you have reduced to 40, then we are able to understand little bit. So
Yes.
so 100, you hear it in 100. Okay, are you gifted, Yogita, because you are not able to see but you are able to hear? Maybe you are a gifted kid, is that right?
Actually, no, ma'am. I was practicing this NPDS since my 8th standard. So
okay.
there is no gifted and nothing.
Okay.
But I've got practice well. So when I was started to use this, I was not able to even understand even 40 speed. I used to use my computer in 30, 35.
Got it. So it's all hard work only, not gifted or anything, right, Yogi?
Yeah.
Okay. So you also use smartphones, Yogi?
Yes, I am using smartphone, Android 11 I'm using.
Okay. How do you use the smartphones?
with the help of TalkBack. That is also one of the screen reader which comes in Android devices.
Got it. So why do you use smartphone? What all the things you do with smartphone?
What are the things the sighted people can do? That one I can do. I like
Ah.
using social media, chatting, messaging, booking, everything.
Oh, okay. Booking. You mean ordering some food and all?
That one also I can do.
Okay.
Rapido, Ola.
Which one is very accessible to you, Yogita? Which app do you use?
For book, I use food and all. I use almost Zomato and Swiggy.
And you like to eat one thing a lot, right? Which one that actually, and every day you order it through something. What is that?
That is Zomato. Sorry, Dunzo, which comes, which I order chocolates.
Chocolates. You like chocolates and you order it every day to through. What is that? What is the app you said?
Dunzo.
Danzo. Got it. Very good. Very good. Thanks a lot, Yogita. And just wanted to understand, you and Gayatri work together, right? Gayatri is a person with hearing and speech impaired, and you are the person with visual challenges. How do you guys communicate?
We will chat through WhatsApp. She taught me some basic sign like saying good morning, ABCD.
Okay. So you guys enjoy going out together?
Yeah, we used to go to ice cream parlor.
Ah, that is what I wanted to get it. Thank you, Yogita. Any questions for Yogita? Not right now. I think I will open up the panel for the questions. Thanks a lot, Yogita. Thank you.
Yeah, ma'am.
Thank you, Yogita.
Yes.
So if anyone has any questions for Yogita, feel free to ask her. So, you can be comfortable asking any questions that you want, right? So, what are the one thing that you wished people without disabilities knew about disabilities?
Just be with them like how you will be with your friends and colleagues.
Okay. So treat them the same way, right, Yogi?
Yes, sir.
Treat them the same way.
Yeah, treat them like take them easy. So like they will understand them until they set up your environment. You just treat them good. That's it. Then they will pick it up.
Okay. Thanks, Yogi. Thanks, Janani, for asking that. Any more questions?
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I didn't get your question, sir.
That is for Gayatri, I think. Wanted to be included. She wanted to be included in the communication. So communication, I'm not able to understand. I want to be included. Yeah, that's what she's saying. Thank you.
So just to let you guys know, Yogita dresses up smartly, beautifully. She loves wearing earrings. So just because she's a person who's visually impaired doesn't mean that, okay, now she has to come in shabby clothes or something like that, right? So she takes care of herself. She loves being beautiful, right? And there is the image that she wants to project it to everybody else, right? So they have very similar dreams. They have very similar goals. They have very similar aspirations. and they go watch movies, and be it a person with visual impairment, be it a person with hearing impairment, they just go watch movies, and that is the way. So I think many times when we think, okay, now this is something they can do, they cannot do this, they can enjoy this, they cannot enjoy, that is all our assumptions, right? The only thing that we got to do is just ask them. It's likely that they will surprise us and they will say, okay, now this is what we can do, right? And there was a question about workplaces. I know that we are running out of time, and Yogita, Akila, if you don't mind, and probably you can go on mute, and you can switch out the video. I'll just show some slides. Please let me know if you're able to see it.
Yes.
Yes, we are able to.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right. So, at a high level, what are the top 3 challenges? Most of the persons with disabilities whom we have come across, they come from primarily villages or small towns. English is difficult for them, right? So even for a person without disability, it's difficult. For them, it's even more severe. And that is one of the major reasons why they struggle to get a decent, a job with a good pay, right? And the second thing is, as Gayatri was mentioning, many times they just mug it up, vomit. So, and because of which they don't understand the core concepts, which makes it difficult for them to apply that knowledge, in a particular setting. It doesn't mean they're not smart. It's just that, okay, we should have used a different methodology to teach them, right? And many times, even when we talk about companies, they're very ignorant about what they can do. They go with some assumptions and all that, right? So these are the top 3 challenges that we have seen. Now, what is it we can do to improve the recruitment? Number one, without skills, they cannot get a job. So it's very important for us to upskill them in the right skills which the industry needs, and use the right methodology to upskill them, right? That is the first thing. And the second thing is what my avatar is doing, which is a great thing, about doing all the sensitization workshops. Okay, many times, as Bina was telling in the beginning, a lot of things are about ignorance. So if we can remove the ignorance, if there is a way we can remove many of the unconscious bias, then a lot of things can do very well, right? So what we do when we work with companies is, number one, we do disability sensitization. We do placement drives, which are very focused by looking at the job roles and mapping them to the candidates, and then improving the hit rate. There is a second thing that we do. And we don't leave them there. We do post-placement support, which is very key for them to succeed and in the workplace, right? And these are all some things that we can do. But more importantly, a person with a disability needs to do, I would say, not just the hard work, but the smart work, right? So they need to understand what are the support systems which are out there. They need to understand which are the technologies which they can harness. And more importantly, learn the skill and manage the time. If they do all these things, I think, things will fall in place. I will just, I thought I will talk about one story, but we are running out of time. And if you go to Vinmania Foundation website, you can, just go there and download many of the, not just success stories. You can download what are the best practices for hiring persons with disabilities, for training persons with disabilities. And these things are available for free. We won't ask your name, your email address, your phone number, nothing we will ask. You can just go download for free. And that would hopefully make it easier for you, right? And with this, I will hand it over back to Bina. Unless and otherwise people have any questions, then I'll be happy to. Okay, so they were saying, okay, now can we put this on slide mode? Okay. All right. So Bina, back to you.
Thank you so much, Shiva. That was indeed a very impactful and very informative session. We all are different, but very much alike at the same time. Inclusive practices not only support the differently abled, but also create a more accepting and welcoming workspace for all. Thank you so much for being with us this evening. and sharing this tons of loads of information, which in turn will help us create more awareness within us. Thank you so much. We would once again like to thank our partners, Kellogg Brown and Root Engineering and Construction India Private Limited and Saint Gobain India Private Limited. We have another exciting day planned for tomorrow, 20th of December, 2022. We have an absolute stellar of a panel to talk about a topic which is close to all our hearts. Dear participants, thank you so much for the feedback that you all have been giving us each day. Your feedback has helped us curate all our sessions till date. Take a leaf from your feedback. We have curated a specially designed panel on skilling, upskilling, and reskilling, the right way to advance your career. This esteemed panel comprising heads will talk about the importance for skilling, upskilling, and reskilling programs for professionals and how these trainings can lead them to a successful career path. The panel consists of Manju Bharadwaj, Chief People Officer, STRI, and Padmini Priyadarshini Gauthi, Head of Design India at Kone. The session will be moderated by Karthik Ekambaram, Executive Vice President and Director, Avatar Group. Do join us tomorrow, 20th of December, same time between 4 and 5 p.m. Please visit www.myavatar.com to explore various opportunities and activities that celebrate diversity. If you have not registered in myavatar.com as yet, do log on to myavatar.com and register now. Browse through to find jobs that might suit your skill set, read articles of interest, upskill yourself through various webinars conducted exclusively for you. Our social media hashtags for Diversity Mahotsav are hashtag Diversity Mahotsav 2022 and hashtag Celebrating Diversity. Do post your experience at Diversity Mahotsav on your social media handles with the hashtags. As we draw close to the day, I'm going to request you to take a couple of minutes and provide your feedbacks on today's session. Request you to kindly please bring up the feedback form. Here, we have a range of questions for you, and your answers will help us understand your experience at today's session. The first question, how would you rate today's session on a scale of 1 to 5? 1 being the minimum and 5 being the maximum. How would you rate our speaker, Mr. Shiva Jayagopal, on a scale of 1 to 5? 1 being the minimum and 5 being the maximum. Is there anything else you would wish the session covered in today's topic? Would you like to suggest a topic that you wish to hear from us during Diversity Mahotsav? If yes, please give your suggestion in the text box. What is your takeaway from today's session? While you fill your valuable feedback, let me reiterate about the next session of Diversity Mahotsav that is coming up tomorrow, 20th December. To listen to a panel discussion on skilling, upskilling, and reskilling, the right way to advance your career, do join us tomorrow, same time between 4 to 5 p.m. Till then, this is Beena signing off. Stay safe. Have a great evening. Thank you.